Mega Evolutions gave us a lot of really cool megas to look at, but one that's kind of going under the radar is Mega Camerupt, and I love this card a lot, and I actually love Camerupt a lot. I feel like it's just kind of an underrated Pokemon, and also I love the little M that it has. This is just a little design detail that I think is really fun. The little M on his head, it kind of reminds me of like the Majin symbol from Dragon Ball Z, as well as obviously the Team Magma symbol, which is pretty cool. But aside from his really fun design that I like a lot, he functions really well with the roasting heat attack, where for a long time poison has been kind of the status effect that's kind of reigned supreme, but this card actually gets to use burn. And then with that, the thing that's kind of exciting is that for 1 energy you're doing 80 damage, which is okay, not great, on a 3-prizer, but if your opponent's active Pokemon is burned, this attack does 160 more damage. So we're hitting for 240, which is really good, because really it's like hitting for 260 because of the burn damage. But we can push that even higher. And the way that we're going to do that is with the Magmortar, another card that has been kind of waiting for the right partner. And so you're going to be able to use the Magma Surge ability, where during Pokemon Checkup, you put 3 more damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon. This is really important because you're able to stack these. So if we have 2 out, we're doing 60 more damage. And so this is how we're really going to push those damage numbers for really cheap. One of the other things that we're going to be able to do is also take advantage of the Volcanic Meteor attack that does 280, and then we have to discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. So what we're going to be able to do is burn our targets thanks to our Volcanion EX and the Scalding Steam ability, where once per turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you can make your opponent's active Pokemon burned. This is really nice because obviously we want the burn damage and things like that. We're going to be able to use Latias to just retreat it out. But we also play 2 copies of Ignition Energy. This is how we're going to be able to not only burn something, but also kind of pop off and follow up KO with our Camerupt as well. But predominantly, we're also going to be using Jet Energies to move our Volcanion into the active, or we're going to be able to run 4 copies of Switch and do it that way. Our A-spec of choice is going to be Precious Trolley, so that way we can just get our board out as quickly as possible and combine that with a TM Evo off our hopeful turn 1 Arven play. We do play 1 copy of Hilda in order to find ourselves our evolutions and the energies that we need, but predominantly we're going to be relying on drawing from Lillies and hitting our items off Arven. This set in overall deck is pretty straightforward, but really fun to play around the burn. And also, who doesn't love being able to use the big boy Camerupt and do it on the hump day? So this is pretty exciting. We're going to jump into the video in just a second, but I want to give a special shout out to the channel members. Thank you guys so much for that additional level of support. Really does go a long way and means a lot, so thank you guys so much for that. For everybody else, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and make sure to check that you are subscribed, because I've gotten a couple messages recently of people who thought they were subscribed, but they double checked and realized that they weren't. So definitely do that, and you know, be on the lookout for future uploads, because we're going to be getting to all the Mega Pokemon sooner or later. So be sure to let me know down in the comments who you want to see featured next on the channel. But without further ado, we will jump into game number 1, and I'll see you guys there. Peace. Alright, we're into the game, and we're going to be going second, which is ideal. We want to have a basic, and we want to have Arven and an energy, so we have all of those things, which is pretty much exactly what we're looking for. We are up against Ceruledge, or Ceruledge, depending on how you pronounce it. This is a pretty interesting matchup. We're going to need to be getting ahead early, but I think we're definitely going to be able to do that. We have access to Arven, so we'll have TM Evo, as well as the fact that we'll have our we'll have access to Trolley. The reality is, like, we may not even need a Trolley here, because we'll have Volcanion, we'll have Nest Ball, we'll have Artazon. No, but we still want the TM Evo no matter what. We're going to be able to do pretty good damage to this, the Squawk. Because we'll be able to Trolley TM Evo. And because we already have Camerupt in hand, and it's unlikely that we get Iono'd, what we're actually going to be able to do is go for a double Magmortar play to put 80 damage onto the Squawk ability, force them to have to retreat it on the upcoming turn, or it'll get KO'd to the burn damage on the turn back. And also creates like a pretty easy 2-prize target later on, where like even if we don't have an attack, it'll already have 80 damage on it, so we just pull it up and burn it. They get a Charcadet. Carmine comes out. Only 1 energy in discard as of right now. I think this engine for Ceruledge is actually really good. Fighting energy down, or at least a hand from the Fighting Gong, which means they're going to be able to use it with the Lunatone. Legacy energy early. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. We see 2 Super Rod down. Lunatone is played. 3 energy in discard. Get a switch. So we'll go Volcanion. Trolley. Wow, both of my TM Evo are prized. That sucks. Wow. Alright, well, that does kind of change things a little, not gonna lie. I don't really know what the best play here is then. I think at that point we just retreat, give up a Numel, attach an energy pass, see what they choose to bring in. Man, imagine the damage that we could have gotten out. I mean, I guess they were going to Tauros it up anyway, so it doesn't matter, but we would have double... we'd be able to have, like, double Magmortar on field right now. And not being able to, like, have that is definitely gonna be a bit of an issue. On the upside, we're gonna be able to KO everything from the fire damage. So we don't have to worry as much about, like, Fez being on board. We'll see how much the Abyssal Flames does. 170. So we are still a bit out of ways for that. We'll bring up the Volcanion. We'll make sure we get our Scalding Steam down. We'll evolve. We'll Nest Ball out another Numel. Or Numel, however you're supposed to say it. We'll go Lillie's Determination here. We would love to hit Magmortar. We don't exactly do that, but we like kind of do that. I'm fine getting rid of this, and 1 fire energy is fine, because we do want the Magmortar here. We can go ahead and retreat, bring the Camerupt in, swing for the 240, and now with the fire damage, we're going to be able to KO, and that's part of why we needed the Magmortar. We'll grab our 2 prizes. And because of the fire damage as well, we're going to get past Legacy Energy. Specifically because Legacy Energy states if the Pokemon this card is attached to is knocked out... Hey, I was reading that. Is knocked out by damage from the attack of your opponent's Pokemon, then it gives 1 fewer prize card. Because we're KOing with the burn damage in between turns, not only are we ignoring the Fez trigger, but we're also ignoring the Legacy Energy. I might have called it Luminous Energy. I don't remember. I always call it the wrong thing. But you get the point of what I'm doing or saying. What we'll be able to do here is probably absorb 1 attack. And then we'll go Jet Energy in order to go back into Volcanion, reapply the burn, and we can even go Hilda on our next turn in order to get ourselves the other Magmortar. Yep, alright, that's going to be game, because pretty much from this route is like, even if they get the KO, we come in, we KO that back, and I also don't think they were going to be able to get the one-shot on Mega Camerupt in that turn, so then we could always make another one. So that's going to be a pretty easy game, but yeah, just the burn in between turns played such a difference there. It really sucks that our TM Evos were prized, though, but it is what it is. Alright, that's going to be game number 1. We'll jump into 2 in a second. I'll see you guys there. Peace. Alright, we're into game number 3. Our opponent's going to be going first. We get our Magmar. This is where we would really like to top deck into a boss. It looks like we're probably up against Lucario, which is cool. Fun to hit 3 different Megas. Alright, not what we wanted, but that's okay. We could, like I said, we could still pull an Arven off the top. Or a Trolley, both work. Both work. Fighting Gong. I can get them, I was going to say a Riolu, a Lunatone, or a Solrock, depending on what their hand looks like. Pretty weak turn from our opponent. We top deck the Arven. What a gift. We top deck the Arven, bails our hand out. Bang, bang, bang. Honestly, we'll just grab one more Numel, I guess. Then what we're able to do is retreat, bring this in. We'll attach. We'll remember to Scolding Steam this time. Then we'll just place the Jet Energy. And in this case, I'm so tempted. Let me look at my board. I'm really, really tempted to not evolve the Numel here. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go double Magmar or Magmortar, just so that way I KO this in between turns. Because I can always TM Evo again, because I don't have energy anyway. So like maybe I can get something cool off my prizes. But I can always go, because they can't KO me. And Fez doesn't do anything here because I KO'd with Burn in between turns. Because like even if they evolve into Mega Lucario here, it doesn't matter. And if they don't, then I apply Burn and just do the same thing all over again. Alright, sick. That's so funny. Alright, well, we'll jump into game number 4, and I'll see you guys there. Peace. Alright, we're in game number 2, and we're going to be going second. We open Fez, but I mean, that's honestly fine. We do have a switch. We have Arven to get ourselves TM Evo play. We see Fan Rotom. Interesting. Very, very interesting. We do see normal sleeves. It could be Terabox. I'm hoping it's Kangaskhan. If it's Kangaskhan, that'd be really fun. Lottie. So, it doesn't show us Kangaskhan yet, but it could be. Fan Call. Grab Bouffalant. Do it. Do it. Reveal the boofs. Aw, you're boring. It's okay. All will be forgiven. Wait, this will be it. Kangaskhan, right here. There's still time. No! That's so not cool and fun. That's the least interesting thing you could have done with this. Well, It's okay. You're forgiven even if I don't want to. Alright, so we'll go Arven here. Trolley for TM Evo. We'll Trolley. We'll grab this, 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 and this. Because we do need the Numel, unfortunately. I'm going to go ahead and let the Fez get attacked. We'll make these because it's safe to do so. And also because I don't really need Magmortar in this matchup, I'm only going to need it to one-shot the Pidgeot. Everything else I'm going to KO regardless, so I don't really care about it that much. I have a feeling that they'll probably go for a... Like, they could either go Boss and go Crystal Energy into... Like, they could get a Crystal Boss here, have an Energy in hand, place that, go Crystal, Boss up, like, the Volcanion, and that would be really annoying. But they go Jock. That gets them Pidgeot. That's cool, I guess. They quick search. Because if they just go Sob here, I hit the switch and we pop off. If not, and they go Torrential, they could only KO Numel unless they go for a boss play. So I have a sneaking suspicion they're just gonna like Sob here. I was so excited for Kangaskhan. But it's fine, we'll take the Terabox. We'll make it rock, we'll make it operate. There's the Crystal Energy. They can't boss me, so are they just gonna pump and dump some damage somewhere? Nope. Huge waste of a Crystal. Alright, really bad play. If you're gonna Sob anyway, you can throw the energy down, but you definitely can't Crystal. Because I'm assuming they don't know the build, but it's like you have to know that, because it's like so new that it says the build, but it's like you put yourself in so much danger doing this. And not just like danger like, oh, I'm gonna KO them, da 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 da. What I mean is like you're out your A spec now, and it's literally the second, you know, like the third turn of the game. Yeah, like you're gonna concede because there's nothing you can do now. Is where like had you had your A spec, you could reset up, go for like a Crispin into like Crystal play or something like that later. But with where you're at, you just can't, and that's so bad. Yeah, that very, very bad play. You can't commit your A spec that early. Especially if you're just going to end up sobbing anyway. But, alright, we'll do one more game, and we'll see how that goes, and I'll see you guys there. Peace. Alright, we're into the next game, and we'll see what we get. We do get Trolley Energies, so pretty good. We don't have access to TM Evo just yet. Dedenne. Interesting. Are we just up against, like, the Pidgeot control? Ooh. No, Litwick. That's interesting. So we'll go Trolley here. We'll go Retreat. Bring this in. I want to go Energy onto this just in case when we hit the Lilies we get into our TM Evo. Which unfortunately we don't. But we're still going to be able to go for the Scald and pass our turn. We'll see what they do. We're up against Magikarps. Shout out to Maggie. It's the name of my best friend. Picnic Basket. You demon. Lillie's Determination. Litwick comes down. Very interesting. Academy at Night. I'm really not sure what we're facing here. Luminous. I'm guessing this is just like Lillie's Determination. Or not Lily. They're gonna pick up the Lillie's Determination here, would be like my guess. Oh, they pick up Picnic Basket. You fool. For you do not know the power. But it's okay. Soon you will. We go T-Amiibo. Evolve. We're gonna apply the burn. Gonna make sure they feel the burn. We're gonna get our Mega Camerupt. We're gonna get our other Magmortar. And yeah, gonna make it a little burned rat. So we don't have to worry about the Picnic Basket. Grab ourselves an Ultra Ball. And I'm not really too worried. I mean, they can make the Chandelure here swing, and that does more damage for all the cards in both of our hands, I think. Is the way that works, right? There's a Litwick, so I think it does what? 20 damage? So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. Alright, I can just read it. Oh, thanks. Okay, it's 30 damage for each card in your opponent's hand. Okay. So, let's see. 60, 120, 180. Stop making me count. Alright, stop it. What's nice here is that we actually can just go Lilies, or not Lilies, we can go Iono here and just put our hand size back down. What does this do? Each player draws 3 cards. That's funny. We will be able to just like keep lowering our hand though, and then we'll probably just go for like a boss onto the Fezandipiti for our last 2 prizes. Neutralization Zone. Alright, well, that's annoying. I guess we're gonna boss the Fez now. Just to make my life slightly easier. I'm gonna bring this in. I'm gonna go Earthen Vessel. Gonna go ahead and just get rid of this. Grab myself 2 energy. This is mostly just to look through the deck. Alright, I have my 2 Artazon in here. I'm gonna attach 1 here. I actually should just start powering this up to make it a little bit faster, just in case I'm not able to find my Artazons quickly. But I'm also okay with just doing this, taking 2 prizes, and then just going like Iono and digging out. If they go Comfey here and go for like the Flower Select, so I know Chef Husky loves. Okay, that's a horrible play to bring out the Fez again, because it's a thing I can boss past this, and also like when there's still so many prizes left to take, it's really risky for them to be playing the Neutralization Zone down so early. Because you want me to have a big hand. Like, you want me to be drawing more cards, so I'm just going to get into a stadium, like, faster. So I definitely feel like you want to hold out on that a little bit longer. Yeah, I don't need all these cards. Like, I can get rid of Hilda, I can get rid of these, I can get rid of Nest Ball, get rid of Ignition, get rid of these, I'll get rid of this, and I can get rid of the energy as well. The Xerosix is a good call, though, because like you can play like a deck out strategy as well. Now, again, I can go Iono, so it's like not that big of a deal. And on my next turn, I'm just going to go Switch and bring in the Volcanion and apply a burn, take the KO on the Comfey, and then it's just about finding a boss's orders. So I can like completely ignore the stadium, to be honest. Counter Catcher, Magmortar. The outcome is the same. Do they not have an energy for the Comfey? Is that what's happening? Lilies and the Xerosic. Wow, that's convenient. Alright, we're going to apply the burn. And then we can... Honestly, I'm fine retreating here. And then I'm not going to swing. I'm just going to let the burn do the work, so that way they can't draw cards off the Fez. And, alright, cool. We get Jet Energy, so that's really nice. I don't think Chandelure is going to be able to KO the Mega Camerupt, if I'm completely honest. I'll have potential access into a boss, as well as access to Iono or Lilies, whichever one I feel is better to use in that situation. I'll also have access to Jet Energy to apply the burn, to knock out whatever I need to. Mimikyu comes out, but again, you have to realize that it's 70 HP, and then I'm just going to KO it with burn. Academy at Night comes out. That doesn't really affect me in any way. At least not one that's meaningful. And also the other problem too, like with this deck is like, because we play so many Switch and Jet Energy, it's like you can't really retreat trap me either. Mind Ruler for 150, not enough to get a second KO. Alright. We'll attach this. What we'll do is we'll go Jet Energy, so that way we can apply the burn. We'll go Iono, put ourselves to 2, lower their hand as well. We'll apply the burn. We'll retreat. Bring this in. Swing for knockout. Get ourselves one more card. And now, even if we just get into an energy, we just find another Iono. Even if we just get into an energy, it doesn't matter because we'll KO with our Volcanion. And I also don't think they're going to be able to KO my Camerupt, because we're only drawing one more card here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, 9. They need to get up to 150 damage. We're at 60, 120. So we need one more card in hand for them to be able to KO us. Or sorry, we need 3 more cards for them to be able to KO us. The only thing now is we actually don't get to retreat. So we can't reapply the burn. So that would be their, you know, way to get the KO here, I guess. Is like they do damage, we don't get a way to Like, we don't get into a Jet Energy or a Switch or anything like that, so then we're just sitting here with Mega Camerupt. And then we do 80 damage, they swing again, KO us, but then we just bring in the Volcanion. So it doesn't really matter. Point of the story, this game's over. It's just taking a very long time to get there. Swings for 120, still not enough. Let's see, do we top deck a Jet Energy? We don't. I'm fine just attaching this here, going Iono. And seeing, alright, we just get a regular energy. We'll do the 80 damage. And on the next turn, we'll just KO whatever comes in with the Volcanion. Night Stretcher. Night Stretcher. They make a new Chandelure. I guess they could switch. But again, it doesn't matter, whatever. Oh, hey, thanks. One turn too late, but is fine by me. Ignition Energy, also maybe a turn late, but fine by me, I guess. Because if I had Ignition, I would just have gone for the Volcanic Meteor. Wait. Are they not going to be able to KO me now? Because they healed me by 30. I only have 3 cards in hand. They're only hitting for 90. That's not enough. That's really funny. They have to retreat now. Go into Mimikyu. That's awesome. They go into Mimikyu and they got us our Switch off trying to draw more cards. Oh. And we can come back. How dare you try to run from me? Be gone. We'll just get rid of everything because it doesn't matter. What a dumb way for that to end. Alright, well, that's going to be our final game, and I will see you guys all in the breakdown in just a moment. Interesting deck. Not sure how I feel about it, but yeah, I will see you guys all in the breakdown in a second. Peace. When going into the breakdown for Mega Camerupt EX, I think this deck is the personification of just like a fun kind of mid-challenge deck where it's definitely not going to win any majors, but it's also just a really fun deck. And if you're looking for something entertaining to kind of climb your way up to back like into Masters, this is kind of a really fun deck to do that with. So as for fun, gonna rate it 5 out of 5. Really love it. It's a lot of fun to be able to just kind of mess around with. Being able to actually kind of use and abuse the burn mechanic is pretty good. We're not really able to do that very often, so it's definitely a great time there. Going into power, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5 also in that category. And the reason for that is that without the burn, you kind of do nothing. And so your damage is situational. When it's all set up, you're doing crazy damage, but if you're not set up, then you're doing like nothing. And so that feels pretty bad. Going into consistency, you're a trolley build, and so you're either going to hit the trolley or you're not. This could be a 4 out of 5. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5, but you could give it a 4. The main problem is that you do need a lot of pieces, and so it's not just getting the trolley, but it's also like getting everything on board and keeping it on board and all that kind of stuff can be like minorly annoying, especially if they're like bossing your like if they boss your Lottie for turn, it's like kind of really annoying, and so that's definitely like an issue, replacing your Lottie and stuff like that. Going into matchups feel fine. They don't feel great. Right now you kind of get to abuse the fact that like everybody wants to play all the new grass support. And so when everybody's playing the new grass support, you're just going hog wild. But when you're up against like Gardevoir or something, it feels pretty bad. So that's what I mean when I say like this deck is like a challenge deck where like you definitely can, but it feels like an uphill battle. And that's not always a bad thing. Like sometimes it's just a lot of fun. And so, yeah, that's just going to be it for the breakdown. I'm going to give it an overall 3 out of 5. I think it's a great kind of challenge deck. This is a deck you could go and have a lot of fun with it, like a locals or something. Probably won't win, depending on how competitive your locals is. but it's a really fun deck that I definitely recommend. So yeah, that's just about it. I will see you guys all in the next video. Don't forget to like the video, share, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.